Let's talk about relativism. If you've never heard of this phenomenon, this may be the most important few minutes of your life, because odds are good that relativism has incorrectly shaped the way that you view the world. You see, relativism is the belief that knowledge, truth, and morality exist in relation to culture, society, or historical context, and that they're not absolute. Lots of common phrases today point to relativistic understandings. For example, have you ever heard someone say things like, "Well, that's okay for them, but not for me," or "to each their own"? If these statements are talking about tastes in things like food or music, that's one thing. But if they're used to describe things like right or wrong or matters of fact, then they're dangerously mistaken. What about this? Have you ever heard someone say a phrase like, "my truth," or "your truth," or "their truth"? Do you hear how these statements are relative? These phrases suggest that what's true for you is true for you, and what's true for me is true for me. But what if you say what's true for me is a lie? How can we both be correct? We can't. Unfortunately, relativistic understandings are just as prevalent as they are irrational. Relativism violates the law of non-contradiction, a foundational law of logic that has been recognized since at least the time of Aristotle. The law of non-contradiction states that nothing can both be and not be at the same time in the same respect. In other words, if we have different quote-unquote truths, they cannot both be correct if they conflict with one another. I can't say that X is real and you say X is not real and have us both be correct. One of us is wrong, assuming that we aren't changing the definition of real within the conversation. Likewise, I cannot say that X is morally right and you say that X is morally wrong and have us both be correct. Again, one of us is wrong. So next time that you catch yourself or one of your friends approaching truth from a relative perspective, stop and think about what you're implying. Perhaps if we once again understand that truth is absolute, then we will be able to more accurately engage the world around us. Remember, relativism is a dangerous perspective that promotes ignorance and damages our ability to relate to our reality.